evening. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. More bad news for the Canadian steel and aluminum industry. U.S. President Donald Trump said he will double the tariffs on steel and aluminum imports to 50% next Wednesday.
We are going to be imposing a 25% increase. We're going to bring it from 25% to 50%, the tariffs on steel into the United States of America.
U.S. President Donald Trump made those remarks last night in front of steelworkers in Pittsburgh, but they were heard loud and clear on this side of the border.
This is, in my view, kind of a five-alarm fire or SOS situation. We cannot expect the steel industry to survive a 50% tariff for any length of time.
Catherine Cobden, the president of the Canadian Steel Producers Association, says Canada needs to respond to Donald Trump immediately.
Notably, that is number one, to retaliate on U.S. steel coming into our market. There's far too much U.S. steel now entering our market untariffed. Well, all of what we ship goes to the U.S. is tariffed, so that needs to be addressed. And number two, we need to put measures at our border to prevent offshore imports from coming in.
Cobden says half of what Canadian steelmakers produce is shipped to the States. That's about 16.5 million tons. But when the tariffs double this week, she suspects shipments will stop.
You know, at 25% tariff, we've seen a drop of 25 to 30% in shipments already. So at 50%, we can expect that to be a significant drop, if not all the way to zero.
Keenan Loomis, the president of the Canadian Institute of Steel Construction, says this could result in job losses locally.
Dofasco in particular has done everything they can to avoid layoffs here in Hamilton, which is great news. But again, that was under 25%. I don't know what 50% is going to do to their plans, but obviously there's a lot of anxiety, and this is only going to amp up that anxiety in our industry.
Luma says the government needs to respond immediately. Reciprocal tariffs is only one step.
Our governments, so it's not just the federal government, it's the provincial governments as well, need to walk the talk when it comes to making sure that our domestic industries are being preferred when it comes to domestic projects.
The federal minister of industry, Melanie Joly, wrote on social media, "We are fighting the current U.S. unjustified and unlawful tariffs with our own retaliatory actions, strong domestic support packages, and big moves to diversify our trade."